creating a culture of love.
Children seek comfort. Men seek discomfort so that we can grow on purpose. Because men in this world are petrified of asking that. They're waiting for a friend to ask them to be friends. They're hoping it just magically happens. We're so afraid of having an opinion. There's a lot of men out there who are 25, 30 years old, even 35, and they don't have that mission. They don't have that. They don't have anybody. People ask me sometimes why I became an attacking specialist, why I focus on it. It's because my whole extended family, calling out anyone specific, there were so many adoptions which abandoned, so many foster kids, a lot of abuse, a lot of drugs, everything you can possibly, and kids being stolen away from the whole family falls on joy. So when it came down to my family, me growing up, my parents, they did the best they could, but they didn't have the skills that they didn't know what they needed to do. So I grew up very lonely, very not really knowing what love was, right? Feed care best they can. They do what their parents should have done and should have done, right? They take care of you, but basic needs. And many of us are raised in what I would call like a social worker framework. Like your parents are almost social workers for you, and then they work themselves to death providing for you, but where's the love? Where's the affection? Where's the care? Most of our parents don't even know what that is. So I grew up in Modesto. Well, we call it meth dusto. Well, I see that. There's meth and there's dust, and that's about what there is. And a lot of the kids I grew up with, same problems. Broken families, abuse. Most of the girls I grew up with were sexually abused by the time we were 12, 13 years old. Most of them. It's all on the guys to boys. And I didn't sit well with me. I guess some people just get into it and they think this is normal.
Yeah.
It never sat well with me. I always thought there had to be something better than this. We're missing. And by the time I get a teenager, I got depression. Most teenagers nowadays do. That's not normal, but it is attachment issues. It's growing up without that love. It's thinking, oh, it is. And when I came out of that, about 20, 21, I made myself fix all of those security, lying, make like you, all those things you fall into what you hate yourself. And I made myself fix it. I didn't know any of the words for it. I didn't know how I'd done it. I made myself be honest. I made myself find the life mission. I made myself fix my friend circles, clear everything out. Found my wonderful wife. I now she's become my wife. I was 15, a little more than 15 years ago. And I said, I'm going to go to school and figure out what the heck I fixed and show other people how to fix it. Master's degree, 6 years, then 3 years of apprenticeship under clinicians and a license, 9 years to become a therapist, only to find out nobody else really knew what attachment was either. They normally teach it to therapists. They don't teach it in schools. They tell them it's not important. It's not diagnosis. Teach them what the diagnosis was, but they don't teach them the underlying needs. I go out and learn that. Our training, seminars to teach them that. And through all of that, I started an online brand of just trying to get the information. And that has grown into this and everything, teaching people about attachment in the world. So I can now coach people everywhere on every concept. I can fly to LA, wonderful people like you, and talk about attachment. And kids out there who are 12 years old, grew up the way I did, or teenagers who are 16, or dudes at 20 trying to fix it, or people, the oldest people that have ever come to you, like 79 years old. They can hear about it when they say something's not right, but I don't know what it is. They don't have to fix it alone. That is the ugly story of where I became.
Yeah, but we all have an origin.
Yeah.
And it gets us to a point to do what we were meant to do in them. And sometimes we put more weight on, well, what's my purpose? I need to be the president. No, you can just be you and show up the way you need to show up in your circle in your life. So a couple of questions here. What do you think was the trigger? Like, I think something's wrong. Let me go fix it and figure it out before you seek out the knowledge more, right? And then the other thing is, secondly to that, then you went to school and you said, hey, they don't teach you about attachment. I believe because I went to school to be a surgeon. Like, that's what I studied medicine, and we studied nutrition. The nutrition they taught me there versus what I've learned since. I'm way more versed in nutrition now and how I apply it to my body. But I feel like sometimes they teach us the band-aids, the surface, the fixes, and that's what helps us earn money.
Yeah.
Clients keep customers, but that's not necessarily the result. And I believe our jobs are to cure the wall of whatever we're trying to fix in the world and take us out of being the job. If you're jobless one day, what's the state of the forest?
Yeah.
And humanity, right? It's going to be a view way.
That's the goal, is to put yourself out of a job.
So what do you think that thing inside of you
To make you want to seek it out and not believe that was enough? Man, when there's no love in the world, I think that we are designed to know what love is, even if we don't get it. We're designed to know that something's wrong, right? I've listed through all of my work the chemicals in the brain: oxytocin, vasopressin, all the serotonin that's supposed to go along with GABA. There's chemicals that your brain is missing, so that you definitely are built for love. We're chemically built for it. But we know when something's wrong. When we're in pain, the only thing pain is information that you're in a bad state that is bad for you. So if you're in pain, there must be a state where pain won't be there. That was what it for me. If I am in pain, there must be a point where I'm not going to be in pain. And that's, for many people, they think that's only death, leads to suicide. Or there's another thing. You just have to learn to. I was fortunately one of those people who said, well, I'm not going to settle for it. I'm going to chase it. Because what am I going to lose? A lot of people don't have that luxury. They fall apart. We lose a lot of people every year for that.
Would you say, because, I've done some work, I've been able to talk to inmates that have taken lives and they've wronged up for years. We come to realizations of some of us don't believe we have a choice, right? I say choose love. Like, Ruben, how am I going to choose love? I'm dead broke. I can't eat. I barely have a roof over my head. But we all have a choice, right? And let's say we believe in God. God gave us free will to choose. All these things we believe in, the world is constantly here for us. Would you say something was in there that said, I'm going to choose this? Because ultimately, if we're not choosing it, someone's choosing it for us.
True. Very true. I, in my earliest work as a therapist, I was very privileged to work with the death penalty inmates up in Stockton. So I'd go in there, and sometimes the guard would walk me in the room, put me in there with the inmate, lock the door, and walk away. So we'll see in an hour. I'm like, all right. And then there were some of the, I don't say like the gentlest people, but they were just straightforward. They tell you what they think. They don't take any crap from you. But most of them were there to learn. And they would say they were at rock bottom and had nowhere to go down, and said, look, is there anywhere but here? I think when you hit that rock bottom moment, you don't even have to know where the place is. You just have to say, is there anywhere? And then you find somebody, some men especially, are supposed to work, and find someone else who has built the solution that the problem that we're having. And we say, is there anywhere but here? Yeah. How do I get there? So and that's it. That is enough for those dudes who have taken lives, guys who are repeat offenders, guys who just were ready to drop out of a gang if there was anything else, and get their life taken sometimes. I've seen guys put everything on the line to chase love. Same thing with you when you saw people, yeah.
And the thing with some of them, it's like, I had more vulnerable and deeper conversations with these men in the few hours that I knew them with men that I've known for 10 years. And I thought that was mind-blowing.
Isn't that a shame? It's a shame that we have walls between us for 10 years. Did that change for you? Because for me, it made me want to lean into relationships and get kind of weird. Right? You get kind of weird. You're the weirdo who asks deeper questions. You too? Are you doing that, Tim, now?
The other than that, so there's two things. One, I end up outgrowing people.
Yeah.
And the easy answer is like, bro, you're married, you have a job, you're happy, you have kids, you sell. Now I'm married, I have a kid and all that, but it happened, let's say 10 years later. But I'm not where I need to be yet, and then you sell. So I think on the surface, we say like, you've attained your goals. I'm not there yet, so I'm outgrowing. Yeah. But I think the truth is like, we're not going past this. We're not going deeper. Besides, my team won, your team won, let's get hammered on the wheel. Yeah. To avoid life, right? And then we're bonding over that, and then we're not. It's like, oh, it's hot to the correct. Others,
oh, correct. I coach men through this, and that's what I would call the difference between a level 2 friend and a level 3 friend, right? Level 1, to have a friend, to say you are my friend. Number 1, you have to be consistent with your principles, right? Honesty, loyalty, compassion. A dude has to live those consistently during. So you've got to at least trust. That's level 1. Basic. Or from that, you don't call them. Yeah. Level 2, you guys have to have some kind of mission, each one of you, and they have to be at least compatible. And if you can join each other on that mission and go together and compel each other forward, that's level 2. Level 3 is mutual acceptance, where you say, hey, here's my shortcomings. Hold me accountable and have patience for me at the same time. Don't enable me, but have accountability. And what are yours? And if he can come back with his menace, 3, because now it's owning it, it's ownership. Level 4 is being able to mutually fulfill each other. All right, we've had every other point. How do I become the best friend for you? What do you need from me? And here's what I need from you in return. And it's 100% openness. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4 sounds like the guys who can't go to level 2 or level 3 with you legally behind, because you're not satisfied until you're done with level 4, right? You only want level 4. It's love. When you have the full taste of love, you don't like McDonald's. When you're hungry, it's a steak. It's not McDonald's. Yeah.
No, and you know what I'm hearing with that is also we then get afraid, knowing this innately inside. We don't really know the way you eloquently just explained it, to go to that level because we think, oh, I need a pleasure. Yeah, I feel loved. I need a lot of people around me because you're only getting super surfacey here. But I think the reality is, now as I get older, I have less and less close friends. Got lots of it. Like, sure, I could chop it up with any vessel. But that deepness, that level, and just, I think it's okay to say, you know what, I'm wrong you. You're not the person I need anymore. This is New York show. No. Yeah, they can. I mean, you still see them once in a while, right? See them at a gathering. You say hi when you're there. Maybe you guys grab a burger or something once a year together. You don't kick them out and say, you're not worthy of meeting. Well, that's the like that. Well, yeah, nothing. Yeah, then they're gone. 100%. But we only have so much time. That's the other key way. Right? Where do you want to invest it? Do you want to invest it in this guy over here who never wants to admit that his life is, or it is, has no mission except to have as much pleasure as he can before he dies? And then won't go deep with you. Do you want to invest all your time and attention there? Do you want to invest it on this person who's growing so you can see them grow, but they're also helping? Right? I got 4 kids. I got a 5th one on the way right now. I let me speak. Back at my little village, all the cows and everything. My pregnant wife's probably out there taking care of the animals right now. 5 kids, man. Like, I don't have time for guys who are like, no, I'm just going to get drunk because this is the peak of life. I'm like, great. I will see you once in a while at a social gathering. That's fantastic. Shake hands, talk politely. That is totally polite. No disrespect for you, but I cannot invest it because I'm taking that away from my kids. That is nothing against you. It's just where we're at. Exactly. And friendships can also be seasonal. Yeah. But time is huge. Like, let's talk about time. I have 1 kid. You got almost 5 kids. You have 4.5 kids with 4.5. I don't sit on the phone. I'm exhausted with 1. Yeah. And then you've got 4.5. How Judy right now, dropping your golf. It's my wife. Thank you for having me. It's my wife. You know what? My relationship sustained this. My wife, absolutely incredible. People say, what's that red pill thing? Oh, she's a unicorn, right? My wife is the queen of unicorns right there. So, she makes this possible, but that's a relationship that we built. We couldn't build that relationship like a level 1, level 2. Like if she was just some chick that showed up and was like, hey, you're pretty hot. Let's do fair. No, it wouldn't work. We went through everything to make sure we took marriage seriously so that we can take parenting seriously, so I can take my business seriously and build this legacy thing together. This is her legacy we're building. I couldn't do without her. I couldn't do this without my friends who back me, my friends who take care of me. I got a buddy named Andre. He helped me dress better. Maybe people notice I'm not wearing like a fishnet and gold chains. What am I now? I'm dressed a little bit nicer. He couldn't hit me go to the gym more. I was with the mindful guys. They were like, hey, and they were all like ridiculously hulked out. I was like, okay, I got to take care of this. Like, I did the mind, I did the work, that was the body. That's my battle next. I have a buddy named Matt. Every Saturday we sit down and he says, okay, Adam, what's your messaging? How are you on point? Where are you off?
Here's where I think you're off. Here's how you can talk to people and help them better when you're on camera. Here's what you could. Like, I could not do this. What do you have a year back? Who's taking care of you?
Why? She said.
Yeah, good. Good.
I used to have a consistent trading partner. You're lying, and he helped me. I hold myself accountable to but when you have that partner, that one where you want to fall into it, yeah, where you. So I had different people at different stages and different needs, but at the same time, I've been so focused on building what I'm building here that I've also kind of siloed myself.
Yeah.
So I have new buds, new friends. Like I have this guy, he's been on the podcast, John. We met because I was invited to a leadership workshop. I said, I'm having this thing today. I didn't even think about you. Do you want to do it? And when things like that happen, like, let me check my schedule. They're cool. Although I can cancel them. So I have the boss. I go in there, and it was this great, like, course on integrity and how integrity's fuel is just a high-level executive coaching that. And I have cool kicks. He's a cool kicks guy. Yeah. We get it on. And I'm usually the guy that mostly absorbs in these things. I was just interacting, spitting back and forth. And he caught his attention. He's a Puerto Rican Persian. Not yet. He's like, dude, he's got kicks and spitting fire. He must have done some work. I need to hit him up. So after that whole thing, he kind of slid into my DM, oh no, how to do this, but how can we start being friends? Like, do you want to jump on a Zoom? He was in Encinitas. There we go. And now, so he's become like a person now. He just had a second kid. We have our first is 2 and change. Mine's 2.5. So like, we're on that trajectory. And it just feels good to start realizing maybe I shattered these old relationships to make space for the new ones. Circles, I have another friend I've been in my life for a really long time. And I love him to pieces, but he's just maturing. He's not mature. He's still the single guy. He's still like partying and like, I can't do this. He calls for advice and I'm happy to help, but I'm like, I'm not going to travel with him. When we used to travel, we travel a single. You go to a city, get in trouble, drink, find some girls, and have a good time. So it's like knowing that I've grown these. So it's not that I don't have people in my corners. Now I'm seeking stronger.
Yes. You said something very interesting and really stuck out to me. You said that he slid in your DMs. Hey, I don't know how to do this, but do you want to be friends? That is something that I teach to men because men in this world are petrified of asking that. They're waiting for a friend to ask them to be friends. They're hoping it just magically happens, right? I saw some research recently that said about 33% of millennials, age 24 to 42 or something in that range, about 1/3 of them were so crushingly alone every single day that it made them suicidal thoughts. So lonely. There are so many men out there looking for a friend, right? So many guys that come to me in my coaching and they join my private community. They say, Adam, I don't even have one friend. I haven't had a friend for 10 years. I remember I had a friend in college and we drifted apart and now I don't know how to make friends. What do you think about going to you guys and saying, hey, want to be my friend? How does that feel for you?
And, I think it's a great challenge that we should maybe use this episode and actually lift men up to like, there's that guy and you've been wanting to ask yes to be your friend. No kidding. Make it surface. Let's go grab a beer, bro. Absolutely. Go from there and try to get deeper. I think if we do that call to action, I'll tell you this, it's never crossed my mind. I want to be something. Life's always been very organic. Mm-mm. So it's interesting. I can understand that and that. Yeah. Because I think you're building this. I guess, man, we could easily silo ourselves into our visions and our purpose and take it one way, 2 ways. It's 11. What's next? Okay, cool, awesome. Did this thing with that partnership and that merge. And where do I go next? Because I know I'm so glued to this vision because it's feeding and supporting my family.
Yeah.
And I'm leaving a legacy for them that we forget.
And you are so far down the path from most guys out there, 25. right? I admire you hearing all of that because you're living the way a man needs to. There's a lot of men out there who are 25, 30 years old, even 30, and they don't have that mission. They don't have that. They don't have anybody sitting alone in an apartment right now with their headphones and listening to this, cleaning their room, and they're crying right now because we're talking about them. There's guys who they spent the last 5 years, 10 years in escapist energy, pornography, smoking pot. They're trying to get clean, but what else is, right? What else is there something better than this? My thought that by myself. Yeah, exactly. And those are the guys I think we can call today and say, hey, you know what? Go ask about friendship. Go reach out. If there's a third of people in your age group are so crushingly alone, they're having suicidal thoughts. Those guys are sitting there saying, no, it'd be embarrassing to reach out. It's embarrassing to ask somebody to be my friend. When I'm 5 years old, I ask people who my friend is with both fucking churros. No, it's not embarrassing. You are helping somebody else who is suicidally depressed. Somebody out there is more grateful for you than you are for them. And you're alone right now. If you are a gift to somebody, give friendship by asking. You think that would work? Or is that crazy? It would work. It could be. It's both. It's crazy. Friendship. Seeking friendship. It's Tinder, but just for friendship. Yeah, friender. But they all created like a side version of what they have, like how events. But what you're saying is what's critical there, and I think we forget. And I found this in my work because I paint and we're mirrors of each other. So we all don't vibrate on the same energy spectrum, but humans are here to love and be loved. Right. We can understand that. Right. Some people are more hippie, some people are more athletic, some people are more cerebral. So find people in your vicinity, but start realizing if you're thinking this, someone else is thinking this, and you guys can attract each other. You know what's fascinating about you is you don't have to go looking for friendship because you are on the path. You meet friends, which says like that. You meet friends along that path at different points, and then they split off, but another dude comes right, 5 more dudes come right, and you pick a friend. That's what most guys are doing wrong, is they're sitting at home doing solo activities. Nobody's coming near them. They have all these walls up. Guys come in all the time. I haven't got a girlfriend. I've been lonely for the last 10 years. Okay, well, where are you socializing? Who are you talking to? What networks you plugged into? Who's your friend group? Who's your family group? Where are you asking to help you find a wife? Well, I've been sitting alone in my apartment for 10 years. All I do is work my job, but I don't talk to anybody. And now I went home. And bro, there's your problem. Or you want to find a woman and invite her into a lonely, isolated little life of escapist entertainment. Very few women are going to want to do that. What life are you building to invite her into? What life are you building that's going to bring you friendships? It's not just go find a mission to have fun. Go find a mission to have friends. Go find a mission so that you invite a wife into it. Like that's it. And don't think one. Better find going to the bar. Sitting here by myself. Don't come in the bar. Go join a cycling team, a book like, go do a weird random ride. There's hiking clubs everywhere, right? Go again. I could go crowd. What? Stay in the back. Eventually work your way up. Guess what? There's one other person in the back. Okay, should we talk about this 2 hour? I thought, thirsty time and start getting warm. Like, I haven't hiked in forever. Now I give a fitness, but well, I always wear it. That's it. I think if we all have our own agendas. If we continue to only drive our agenda without the acceptance of someone else's agenda, we're not going to, unite. So realizing they have an agenda, out of an agenda. How can we meet those agendas in the middle and find commonalities? Right. Well, what's funny? You go to the bar. If you meet somebody at the bar, all you have in common is that you go to the bar and drink. So what are you going to do? You're going to go to bars and drink, or you're going to sit all together and drink. Don't find a wife there either, right? I tell people this all the time. Guys, go find a hobby, cycling groups. Stop at your local tavern, if you're a village like me, and look at the big posting board up in front, right? A lot of towns still do this. You have the bulletin board for town. Go there. People are like, hey, we're looking for someone for our hiking group. Hey, do this. Now I have it online. Right? There's meetups, everything, everywhere. Find an activity, martial art, hobby or an interest that has a social component. Go where people are doing that thing. Talk to a couple of the people you meet there until you find someone that you gel with. Talk to them 2 or 3 times and then say, hey, you're really cool. Would you like to spend time outside of this? And nobody hates hearing that they're cool. Nobody hates having a friend. No, thanks. I don't need any more cool friends. That's my empathy. No, thank you. I'm too busy. No, you meet up and you hang out and you have something in common. So you could say, would you like to go get coffee? Okay, now we're friends. What are you going to do? We're going to do the same thing we've been doing. Let's also do some other things. And while we're at it, let's have those deeper conversations that people avoid. Hey, how do you feel about self-improvement? Where are you at with your mental pieces? And what are your relationships like? Are you doing any work on yourself? Any place I can hold you accountable as your friend, help you level up. Here, if you could hold me accountable at this point, it would help me level up. I would love to be your friend in this. That's why I asked you, who's holding you accountable? You have so many people holding you accountable. That's exactly how a man needs to live. Most men are shy away from it. You're on other friends and circles and areas like, I'm holding accountable because I need to show up this way to honor that friendship or that relationship. Or we start realizing we're honoring each other in relationships. That's also holding us accountable. Yes, because we can only take ourselves so far, and we're the biggest liars to ourselves. We break our own word. We are 100 times, and if we break our word to ourselves, how are we trusting ourselves? Yeah, we're not. Then how do we find trust in all these other people? Yeah, hence we go, oh, that's it. That's it. That's where we slack. For me, fitness. I don't have time for fitness because I have to learn, educate, teach, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I'm working 12, 14 hours a day, but I don't have time to not in fitness. So I have friends now that every Monday they get on the phone. They go, where are you at? Are you at the gym? It's like 5 in the morning. I'm like, why? What are you doing to me? Yeah, they get me out and they make me go do it. They hold me accountable now because I asked them to. I don't have time not to do this. I have a friend who is desperately seeking love but says, I don't have time to find a girlfriend and build a relationship. Like, all right, you've been telling me that for 2 years. But every week you tell me that you're lonely. Where are you at? Where are you at on that? Say, you know what? I don't have time to take care of my mental health because I have so much work in building my business. Bro, what do you think you're going to spend all that money on? Yeah. Money you got a heart attack and you're going to spend like $100,000 for the big valve in your heart or something. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have time not to. So get people who make it a giant hassle for you of what you're supposed to be doing. Also, you just said time again. Time always comes up, right? Time is a thing for all of us. We're born, there's a dash, and we're dead. We're guaranteed to leave this planet and go on to whatever happens next. That's it. But if you don't have time for the relationship, stop spending your time thinking about the thing, because that time could then be put on this time, and all of a sudden that same time is just being repurposed. Absolutely. But we don't think of it. It says easier said than done, but it's a balancing act, and you cannot do it alone because we are stupid. When we make our choices alone in a vacuum, we are stupid. When we have accountability, the research shows that we prioritize better when somebody is over there saying, hey, you said you were going to do that thing. And we have a part of our brain, a part that can feel emotional pain, a part that can feel physical pain, and a part that can feel social pain. Use the social pain, the anticipation of social pain. Your brain goes, ooh, I don't want people to, I'm embarrassed if I don't do this thing. It will hurt me if I don't do this activity. If you don't have accountability, you make it way too easy because you say, oh, I can just skip the juke thing. But no, I got a buddy that's going to call me and go, hey, where you at? You're looking uglier as ever. Hey, you better telephone. You may not think it's a big deal skipping the gym today, but you're still making like, oh man, all right, yeah, no, it's enough. I'll be there. The pain, add pain on. Use pain on purpose. We're not away from pain. It's just information. Use it as leverage, just a tool. Everything's a tool. That's why monetary exchange is so valuable, because it could be painful. Yes. Hey, a therapist costs $300 an hour. Let's rip it. That hurts. That hurt. I said her be present for this hour. My personal trainer is $150 an hour. I'd better show up. And to maximize that, I should probably show up the other 2 days without Ed that you told me to show up, or her to do the work. So when I show up again that one day, I bet. Correct. So like using that as that's where you can use fear in a positive. That's right. I do coaching just on that really quick. And people can buy one session at a time with me. They totally can. I have a package deal that they can buy with a discount. But the reason I offer that is because it hurts. It hurts, and you pay all up front. I'll tell people, they say, hey, can I just do one at a time? I say, yes, you can. You can. If you pay all at once, you will finish the actual work. Because you will say, I have paid for this, I'd better stick to it. Because halfway through, it hurts. It hurts to dig deep into what's wrong. It hurts to do what's steering you. It hurts to step out of your comfort zone into your pain zone and lead into it. And halfway through, you're going to want to quit. You will want something you can say, well, I already paid money for this. I better just finish up the sessions. Because then you get the results and you're like, stuck with this. Personal trainers, they usually charge you, like, they don't charge you one by one. You should charge you the $1 or $2 or $6 or, yeah, what's the whole thing? Because you've paid for it in advance. You're going to finish it. The guys who pay for it in advance, they all finish. The guys who go one by one, maybe a 50%. Maybe a 50%.
Also, making sure there's for the training, make sure there's a no-show policy. Who cares what they credit about? Because people will always negotiate their way out. It was 10 sessions the last 10 years.
That's right. That's right. I give life is messy. Everybody gets one. You can miss one, no problem. But after that, it starts costing. Then you just do the whole session. Like, what was more important than this? You don't shape anybody, but like it hurts. And that's good. Men, here's what I say. I don't know if you agree with this. You tell me after this if I'm way off base. You can kick me out there to go. Children seek comfort. Men seek discomfort so that we can grow on purpose. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes. Yeah, I would add, I believe humans seek comfort in general in everything.
Yeah.
So why are we going to make ourselves uncomfortable? But if you have a growth mindset, especially, I always say athlete mindset's another thing. So I agree. There are people wired to seek for discomfort.
Yeah.
But there's also a negative side of you reaching for too much discomfort too. So there is a balance. So I do agree. And men are more on that side of it than women because they're more nurturers.
Yeah.
But I also slightly disagree because I think the majority of life right now, from my experience and from all the people I've talked to and all the business that I've done by a lot, are looking for the easy way, the comfortable way, the non-challenging way. And we're getting lazier and lazier. And technology is driving down.
No, I agree with that piece. And that point, let me clarify then. I think that we have an epidemic of adult males who are not initiated in the panic, whose central nervous systems are so overclocked with fear and with trauma and with terror that they are petrified that layering in one more touch of pain is going to destroy them. So they run into comfort like a child instead of leaning into discomfort like a man. And so they never grow into their manhood. And I think that's why they hate themselves in so many ways. I'm like, does you agree with that one?
I know that's driven by fear.
Yes.
Because I think there's a the way love is defined is completely, I think, I'm always fighting. It's like, I love this coffee. I love my food. In the Bible, in the dictionary, you look up the definition of like, it's really off. That isn't love. Love is like undefinable because it is what you need it to be and how you use it. Love is uncomfortable.
Yes.
Love is a sacrifice, but not like in the sense of I'm sacrificing for you, my health and my wellness. Or, sometimes as parents, I will think, well, I guess I don't have time for me. It's all about my kid.
Right.
And you forget that's you, but that sacrifice actually layers something onto this kid in the future that's going to be.
Yes.
And I'm also saying, like, there's just this massive emasculination, is that word, on men. Well, if we coined it or should show us now, t-shirt slang, makes a t-shirt, here we go. But like, we're being emasculated.
Yes.
The movement, I'm a big believer, and if women didn't exist, the world would be over because men cannot take on most of what women do, let alone childbearing, creating life, and all. So, putting that there. But there's been a movement in history where, like, we want to be equals, And also from some of the research I've seen, like, women don't want to be in those roles anymore. So now let's go into like attachment style era roles, and gender is under attack right now. So like we're born in coded DNA one way or another way. Ingrained in us are certain things and certain roles, and it doesn't make anyone lesser than anyone else. And my wife and I, we find ourselves in our roles, but not because I'm like, yo, you do this and you do this. I'm like, I take up the trash. She cooks, I do this and she does that. And like, did we ask for this? Did we spell it out? Did we make a contract? No, it kind of feels right. Do either of us want to do anything? No, we'd love to have help. Yes. But that's not the reality of the situation. So like, how's that start fitting? Because I think the power vacuum of everyone trying to be quote unquote the man and the person in charge and the person that has the power. Yep. Maybe that comes from just we never had the power growing up.
Yeah.
And we were placed in these silos of we're taught that we're not worthy unless X. We're taught that you're not successful unless X. And then you have to own the power, and then it's a control thing. And I think it just spirals out of control, and vulnerability and love and emotion, especially as a man, is weakness. I think if I could go up on stage and start shedding tears, sometimes I do tops, and at the end, I always do like a thing. I start getting choked up. I hear you. But I feel like that's the strongest point in the thought. That's when I started, like, no, it's when I broke it down by yes. So that's actually me. It is.
That's you in front of everybody without any mask on. That's Mamble.
And I want to be there way more. And I'm not there always. If I get to live in that state, there's a whole other one.
Yeah, it is.
But when the world say, oh, he's just the soft. Yeah.
You asked me in there about women, about Miss and him. I saw some research recently from Forbes, a survey, and they went around to some of the top corporate level women, CEOs, C-suite executives. There's women in the corporate world, and they asked them, would you rather continue working? Would you rather stay at home? And if you wanted to stay at home, do you just kind of want to? Do you resent? If you're married, do you resent your partner for not making enough for you to stay at home? Where you at? And the research was pretty interesting. 84% of women in those higher level corporate roles, 84% wished that their partner made enough for them to stay at home and not work. 84% of them. And 65% of them, 65, they actually resented their male partner for not making enough for them to stay. Women can step into those masks, can step into them. They shouldn't have to. Most women who feel like they have to, their dad made them feel, or their mom made them. Someone made them feel that they were not enough as a woman, and that their feminine was because it wouldn't keep them safe. They had to step into male. Masculine is about safety and providing. That's where you provide safety, security, and resources. That's what masculine is. Like, yeah, you're a workhorse. They harness you up, you go, and then when battle starts, they switch out your armor and you charge them. That's manhood right there. Womanhood, femininity is so hard to define, but like you said, equally, it's valuable. There's nothing below or beneath or lesser than. We are the outside, they are the inside. They're the heart, the spirit, thriving. They feed the system, right? If we're the skin, they're the organs, they're the veins, they're everything inside. I've said this before. Men build structures. Women build networks inside the structures and between the structures. That's what they do. And when we are doing our job with strength, with honor, and love, passion, cycles, but when we're doing our jobs, they can do their jobs. If we are doing our jobs, how to do our jobs? And that's where a lot of men, that's where a lot of resentful women in this world is waiting for men to be back at.
That
Sad.
It is sad. But I also don't want to blame men, becoming absolutely not as a society, I think. It's become it.
Yeah.
And like, how do we fix it? How do we start showing up better? But now, being given the side eye for thinking on where Saudi can go. I think that's all. I think we're so afraid of having an opinion. Like we're not allowed to have an opinion.
Yeah.
We're no longer allowed to have discourse and conversation.
Right.
I just saw Obama did a letter that he wrote to the librarians because making books just literally, like, I believe we're like hiding our past and hiding our mistakes. So at some point in the future, we're going to forget that ever happened. And guess what's going to happen? We're going to make the same mistakes and all that over. Let's learn from all of this. We can't sweep it under the rug. And I think, again, back to let men be men, let women be women. There's some stuff there. I mean, we forgot that we used to operate as tribes. And now we operate in the 50s, became the house, the white picket fence, the nuclear family. That was it. Maybe you need your neighbor, maybe.
And now we don't even have that. Now it's women living alone in little apartments, men living all over their little apartments. It's family, 10 members. They scatter, different cities, different apartments, different everything. Never touch, never talk. Making the on Christmas to have awkward conversation. And that's life. I was having a great conversation not too long ago. Man, Chase. You might know him. It's your friend, right? Yeah, Ever Forward Radio. Shout out to Chase. He might be looking there, and he's right there. Look at that. Look at that guy. He's looking good. I was talking to Chase, and in our conversation, we were talking about how men today are trained to be ashamed of them. It's not that we're blaming men for not being men. It's like nobody else can do your job. Nobody else can be men except men. I'm sorry. There is a giant gap in the world right now, and men need to step into it. It's okay to feel like it wasn't. I grew up here in California. I remember all the female teachers telling us, why can't you boys be more like girls, right? Boys are so aggressive. Boys are all, I remember like even back in the 90s, early 2000s, female teachers, and then in college, men are rapists. Men are horrible. Men are tyrants. Men, you need to control I remember being like 10 years old hearing in school about this stuff. Like, be ashamed of your manhood and constantly afraid you're going to hurt someone by accident because you're a monster. Be more like these girls. Yet men have heard that all our lives. Men are hearing that right now. Toxic masculinity. That's all we hear on the internet. We stopped hearing about it during the pandemic, interested in while everybody was scared. All of a sudden, we wanted men to come back and help us protect us. Now that we're through that, it's coming back again. Okay, no, now we don't need men to protect us. But guys, you can either choose to let people shame you, then you could die. Probably by your own hand. Or you can stop hearing what they think. And you can not just blindly lurch forward to be a man on your own, a low Rambo in the woods, but you can join a tribe of men. You and me, we're doing like what we met through our journeys, through our mission. Hey, bro, do you want to be my friend? Hey, let's go. We're friends now. Jace, want to be my friend, Jace?
Absolutely.
There we go. Beautiful. We are now friends because we chased this mission. That's how manhood works. You don't be a lone man all the time. You connect other guys to share your mission. There's fraternities out there. There's trade communities. I run one of them. There's men's groups at churches or every religious organization you possibly think of. There's so many men's communities out there and better for it to reach out because they're going to live alone. No one, I have no value. No one will want me. No, people are dying because you're not their friend. I don't know. I could say so much to these guys. What do you want?
No, there's a lot there. And I think the overarching question can be, because you can go too far one way or the other. We can say name the polarizing bed in the spotlight. But it's like, what's your why? Be a man, but where's your why? And if your why is violence and fighter-esque and all those things, okay, that's not what we're talking about. I'll be a man. If your why is like, I'm going to show up, I'm going to fix the world, my family, protect them, provide. That's our why. It's coming from love. We choose love or fear. Are you being a man from fear, or are you being a man from love?
I did therapy clinic. I need a little clinic for at-risk people. The police call us the Walmart of mental health. because everybody, like the worst cases in the city, they show them to us. So people would attempt suicide, they would not 72-hour hold the hospital. And after that, they would set up an appointment and drive them over to our office and set them up with a therapist. And we would be, men would walk in my office and they'd say, I'm just got here from the hospital. I tried to kill myself. Don't worry about it. I'm probably going to go home and kill myself again. Don't worry about it. Don't waste your time on me here today. I'm just going to be out. It was my job at a 60-minute appointment to give that man a reason or at least enough hope to live another week so that we could talk again. And I built a system. It's very simple. I'm just going to tell you really quick. It was just a 3 method. 3, 3, 3. It's all you have to do in your life is change the course of 3 other human lives. That's your mission. It's your legacy. That's your purpose. You are alive on this earth. You don't have to overthrow a tyrant in a country and free millions of people from slavery. You don't have to do that, right? You don't have to be an action hero. You don't have to be president. You need to impact 3 lives so that they are better than they were without you. So that on your deathbed or at your funeral, 3 people show up and say, this man lived with honor. This man took care of me. This man guided me, and I'm better because of him, and I'm carrying the torch forward. That's what men need. We just need that. 3. Now, if you help 3 people, they go out. Let's say they get married. All right, okay, that's 6 people now in back. But let's say they go out 3 people. Okay, so that's now 9 people. If these are your kids, that's 3 kids, 3 spouses. You got 6 kids, right? That's 9. That's actually 18 on the next level. 3 more is 27. It's actually 54, I believe. The math in my head, therapy math. And it just grows and grows. At 100 years, you're looking at about 250 people. If you help 3 in the course of your lifetime, just aim for 3. If it's more than 3, great, right? I got almost 500,000 followers. Now I can help that many people. So I got more than 3, but when I started out, it wasn't even 3. It was like 1. It was like me and my wife. Okay, I can help you. I'll make your life better. We go work and feed you. Then we had kids. Like number 5 is on the way. A lot. I got now 500,000, but I started it like me. What am I going to do? Oh, I'm going to wake up and sit here. I started there, guys. Like, how many people right now are you looking at? A lot.
Yep, there's a lot. There's more than I know, because when I have conversations with people, they then tell me, and I sometimes just get like overwhelmed. Like, people were already there. Oh, like, yo, use the hoodie, I don't know either of them, but they connect, and then they message me on Instagram. You over in the soul, you're already like, love that. It's like, that's it, please. I did a thing with the NFL. You know how many people watch? God, what first 60 seconds was me painting my studio, and the whole campaign recipe was choose love. Like, so I don't know. And, I always say, if you come for an ego, I'm on a world peace mission. I'm going to solve the world. Like, no, okay, that's almost impossible. Yeah. Well, I'm like, if I can affect change 1% at a time, ripple effect. So you say 3's the nice number. I like on numbers. So I'll go 3 people. Yeah, but one at a time, you don't know where it's going to land. And one of those people might affect, and another person might affect 100 million. It's just one person. Or 10. You never know. So just focus on how you show up. That's it.
What is this to you? I'm curious with you, right? Love. Live through love. Everything is love with you. And I love that. Personally, it's amazing. Men should come back around to love, being the center of that. It's fantastic. What does love mean to you? And what do you think it means to the guys at home who are sitting there alone in their apartment? They don't know what. Mom was distant. Their dad was mean to them. They haven't had a friend in 5 years. They haven't had a girlfriend in 10 years. I remember getting laid once back in college. He's 30 years old right now. He's sitting in his apartment, smoking pot. He's playing video games. He's checked out, and he's hurting. If we say, hey, man, we'll find some love, like, he's probably going to hop on Tinder and try to find a girl. What does love actually mean for that guy?
Well, at least for that guy, you already think it's not attainable.
Yeah.
Not absolutely not worth. And like, well, where's that from? And we all have our things. Like, I grew up in a very affectionate house. He said, well, you know, yeah, I come from a broken household. And but yet I still found myself all these things and all these conversations. And at some point I stood in front of people. I said, I have love. But it kind of went from there. And, you know, love is the answer thrown around on. Yeah, I made this t-shirt. Well, on the inside, I printed. Most people don't know. It says this. Ooh. So that touches their chest. So they're walking around like, yeah, it's shit too. Oh my God. So however you would like. In my head, I know that I'm like, well, I'm telling them the other answer. They're actually walking around saying, I mean, yeah. And I think love is taking personal responsibility. Love is a choice. And it's, you know, from having conversations and asking people what is love, some people in most cases think it's sacrifice, you know, and I have to give something up. That's how it shows. I have kids. I have to give up my dreams in my life now. It's all about my kids. You know, I have a 2.5-year-old. My kid is my obsessor. He is like a nice handbag, my sneakers, a nice car. He's plugged into my life. I'm not changing mine. I've seen too many people have kids. Their life ends. It's all about the kid. They disappear and they're in a silent. And 10 years later, they're like, what happened to their life? No, those are mine. That's not what it is. I saw my mom in the relationship with my dad. Like, she sacrificed everything for us. Thank you. I'm very grateful. That guilt, that shame, and your sacrifices are things you chose for us out of love. But we didn't tell you to do it. So don't put that on us. You know, like, hey, mom, stay in this situation to put us about. Hey, mom, or hey, dad, or hey, like, we didn't even say, hey, can you guys have sex and procreate or me too? Like, you chose to have me. And I said that before I had it. And now that I have a kid, I see it even more. Because now I'm like, you know, I'm living. I'm like, here, child, anything I do for me, yeah, doesn't owe me. No. No, there's no check that can be cashed. There's no repayment. So to me, it's like love is a choice. Yeah. It's active. It's uncomfortable. It's hard. It's not a rom-com like what we see on TV. Typically, the rom-com is that honeymoon stage in the beginning. The other movie ads, they forget like this is where we don't kind of want to go next. Like, marriage, you know. There's the honeymoon stage where you're Johnny Rabbit's in bed, and then it just doesn't happen. Then you have kids. That's a whole other thing. I don't know if you can imagine that side. But like, stuff changes, relationships change, and there again, that relationship, love is a choice. You know, you fall in love, oxytocin, all our hormones, like all these things that our body's like, yeah, love me, you love me, yes, keep going. Ooh, we're gonna keep going. Ooh, we could build something. Ooh, like these are the triggered. Now you're in it. Now, well, like I'm in it to get divorced. Yeah, and it's not easy. It's clobbered. It's love is only to work that. I'm believing it's a love though. It's love here. It's not that like I don't know why am I so. How I define love is there's a choice. You have to choose it. You have to want it. You have to lean into. It's fear is easy. Yeah, also a choice, but it's so easy for lashing out, victimhood. So it's, you know, and then trying to be a self-fulfilling prophecy become martyr. But I think people use martyr completely correct. It's a very long, weird answer, but we know that's okay. Love should be that or keep it on. It's not the one. I can only say what I think love is visible by, and it is this. And in my experience, when I can say that person was loved, or I loved that person, it is when someone has walked into a circumstance and they have done what is truly best for the people involved, right? For themselves, right? We get all caught up on, do you love yourself? Yeah, I'm great. No, do you love yourself? Yeah. Do you do what is truly best for yourself? Do you do what is truly best for the person across? Do you do what is truly best for your wife, for your child? They shouldn't be, well, what's most convenient for that? What gives them the most pleasure? What is truly best for my wife? Sometimes it means taking care of myself. What is truly best for me? I shouldn't be getting myself. I should walk into one service and say, okay, you only get along with that person. You should be served.
You walk in saying what is truly best for each involved. And must take some thought. What is truly best for all people in this room? Well, this person best for that, best for this, best for this. And okay, how could we balance? Because so man, there's going to be tough because you need this, but you need that. Can we take care of each other? We agree maybe you need more right now and you get more clear. So we can blend that. Maybe I eat something brighter for you to go. Maybe sometimes what's best for me needs to be part of the back burner. Not so I take care of my health, but what's best for my kids right about? Then you can't hate them later because that's not best for the home. You must continuously do what is best for everybody around you and yourself all the time. As it's awesome.
All right, another example for that. So I find myself portion of my story where I end up as a financial advisor. So I had do really low, rookie of the year, leaders conference, all this. About 5 years into this thing, I'm really now my geez, we want the best. And one day, basically, the phone comes across. How are you going to? I hate like that. Literally, I would use competing and constant as my escape to show my border. Well, I've never made it into drugs or pornography. That's just not my advice. I like to drink, I like partaking things, but that to me was always a celebration. So, but to me, it was like, let me just go make myself uncomfortable by challenging myself. So that's how I did it. So I did that as part of 5 years into this thing. I'm like, I have to change. And in the space of being a financial advisor, I talked to a lot of people, and I was a personal trainer, I was in real estate, I was in finance. Imagine the psychology schooling I went to of realizing, I did a little studying in college, nothing like you, but you could also learn humans by being in humans. And I see people making millions, hundreds of thousands of dollars, making about everything in between, living at all these different levels and going home being miserable. And I started foreseeing, like, okay, yeah, I can make millions of dollars doing this. Awesome. Now validate my ego. Cool, that house and the car and the this. But rewind a little more when I was in real estate, in my early 20s, I was balling out of control. And I had the rims and the trucks and the houses and the bikes and then the girls and the tables. I lived that life and then I went bankrupt, lost it. So I don't want to repeat that. I saw that there is more to life than the money that validated my existence and everything in between. So I started foreseeing, okay, I wasn't married and had kids at the time. I'm really getting a divorce. My kids are going to resent me. I'm going to have terrible relations with both of them. Why? Because all I'll be able to say is I sacrificed all of my love for myself and my sanity to give you money to provide. Because that was no longer a care that was important for me. And then I'm going over showing up like an angry a-hole with all that. Like there's a point where you can't hide. And I saw that happening, and that was part of this depression. That was part of this whole affair. And I just, this can be my life, right? I don't care how much. I don't care, I'm in my early 30s. I've got years left of the end. And the end of the year. Yeah. A little bit more to the story, but like I saw that. But how many of us are thinking that right now and not taking action, right? Or thinking it, taking action around it. Right now, the rest, 3 or you are. So I think in a relationship, we tend to run, think the opposite, but if you're in your career and your life and what's actually feeding your relationship, I think that's a different ballgame. So that's how I ended up going down this path. And to me, it was the best thing I ever did. I didn't know this was going to, still took, by the time I decided to do the word in the mural, the first mural said, who will you be? And it asked the questions, word they were responsible. I wrote all these words on the wall, and then it was listed on it. That's the things I didn't see in the world. I saw a billboard that said, buy a bigger truck so that you can fuel manly. Trace the file so that you know the word out. Like, go to the movie for all of these things. I'm not saying any of that's wrong, but I didn't see what I needed. And I think in most cases, are we seeking out what we mean to see, what we want to see to help us grow in the direction we want to grow? Or are we escaping to keep us where we're at? to validate what I'm overturned while it's not true, right? And that's starting looking at how I really make less, but have a relationship at work on having my children love, because one of my reasons for my wife's fitness is I want to my grades. I want to ride the periods when I'm 75 and travel the world with them and all of that. What's the point of being rich? I can do it. Rich artistry, all of that. So all the whys and everything you do, but why is your wife? Why is your wife in love? What is your wife, bro? And if we could focus on that, what is your wife of being a man? For this friendship. Who? Sometimes to who? Sometimes your wives are who? Sometimes to what? Sometimes to where? So it can be anything. It can be anyone. Whatever gets you going, right? I tell people this all the time. They say, Adam, I never had a dad, right? I don't know what it's to look like. Adam, I've never had a man in my life I respect. I've never had a man that made me admire. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what I should even be aiming for. Literally, this is the voice of boys. There's humans serving stories, all about the sort of Gilgamesh, right? About this hero of 1,000 faces, all that. Every hero is a father figure for someone who didn't have a father. Die hard, right? When I came here yesterday, first thing I did, I got out from my hotel room, went, the building was just not consuming father. It was not quite what I was expecting. I don't see early. But I took pictures of the building. It was just bare. Because it was cool. I love that movie. Is it a Christmas movie? It is a Christmas movie. I don't care what anybody else. And my family watch on Christmas. You know, it always is. But there's something about him, right? Not the best man in the world. But what does he do? He does what is truly best for the people who are involved in history. Why he's calling to be a bit deep from class. She keeps himself alive, his wife, other people. He tries to take care of people that he's just honorable for. That, like, you look at that, okay. He's persevering. He's honorable, right? He's loyal. He's never going to give up. That's admirable. We can choose to be that man. Use Hollywood to the things. Use Fox. If you're steeping in a video game, use video games. Use video game characters. If you're steeping in the anime, use anime characters. And I like all the guys that come in every state of the world, you have a falls in front. You know, you're just afraid to find that hero in your story and make yourself that hero. Right now, you are a hero who is fighting a terrible, terrible dragon cult. And right now, you are battling for your life. It's fast. You're battling for those lives of those 3 people at each. You might be 30 right now with somebody in the 80s. 50 years, man. 50 years to fight 3 people that need you. Build some skills. Solve some problems. Help other people who need those skills and solutions. Find your free. Change the life. Adopt a kid. Somebody either single dad, adopt a kid. Mentor somebody. You're 50 years old. You're out too. Okay, your third one becomes someone to be mentored. Say, hey, man, don't kill yourself. Take care of you. You help 3 people in the course of your life. You are now a hero. If you feel like there's no purpose, man, you are somebody's hero waiting to happen. You said something very interesting in there, actually. You were talking about you were afraid that you basically would be living a life without love. Your kids live. Fear and love. So many men of this world are living with fear. Choose instead and do what's best continuously for you and everybody else involved, right? That'll be living through love. Living for love. Living in love. Love is everything, man. It's between 2 friends. It's a conversation. It's a non-stranger. It's just doing what's right for people. You love somebody when you do what is truly right for them, especially when it costs you something. That's my thought. Yeah, it's true. And then there's fighting. Most people don't realize physically your body reacts the same about yourself, right? I always see like, hey, close your eyes. Picture now. First time you went in to get your first what did you feel? You swap, sweat, hair so on, earnest, belly went terrorized. But that was whatever it is to what. Now, picture yourself. You're about to get to the hour, and let's okay. Strip it down hot. all the same things, butterfly, sweat, goosebumps, it shows up the same way, but we're putting this meaning.
Absolutely. It's the same feelings and just have a different reason. And we feel differently about it. One do something. There's something powerful in that. Love should be an action. It should drive you to do something. You can have affection, but it should drive you to do something. But I don't know. What do you think of this? Is it possible to love somebody and have no affection? What do you know this? Talk to me about why.
Well, so if I go to the premise of what I try to put out in the world, take all the layers away.
Yeah.
That I look at you. Take your name away, your gender, just say like, you're human. You feel you have pain. I'm human. I feel we have pain. Like, from that, I should already just love.
Yeah.
It's different layers to love, right? Let's just come from love. So, yes, I can love you over it. I mean, I do love you over it. Thank God for that. But if we come to that space like love until you have a reason not to, trust until you have a reason not to trust. Most of us coming guarded. I'm not loving, and they never love. I don't trust that I'm bettering. I stay sometimes like, well, we'll see. We'll see the show. We'll see the art show up. We'll see. I'm not going to prejudge it.
Yeah.
And the action of the other person should bear and help guide you to ultimately what you're out and let that be the answer. Don't predefine it. So yes, you can try all of everything. But again, that's called level one of love.
Yeah.
It's holding in the doors.
Yes. Love can deepen it. I think there was if we go with the idea that love, we really love when it costs us something. One is an action. I always say that when you don't feel affectious to someone, but choose to love them, and that's it even for me, right? Someone famous once said, love your enemy. Right? It is hard. It is hard to love someone as they're betraying. That has nothing to do with affection. It has nothing to do with warm us feelings. That's like, man, with my kids, it might surprise you to know that they are not always the best behaved. Sometimes they throw a block at your head. Sometimes they throw a tantrum. Sometimes they get mad at you and they poop on the floor. And, it's hard. It is hard some days when if you love them, but you're mad at them. You're like, what? Why? Like, what is this? Like, that's so random. Why would you do this? Why is like flat like I ever heard? Like, why is you mad? If I do this, it's like that too. It's hard to love somebody in those moments. I think that's when it counts the most. You can love somebody through the definition you and I have built yourself for. And just doing what is really best for the other person when it counts. Right? And be fair, you really understand, like, it's through the actions. They're doing what is best, doing what is really best for them in that moment. You can love them at any time. You can choose to love anybody at any time. It comes down to how disciplined you are over your instinct to fear is. Your fear will stop you from loving people. How can we help the guy that can be less afraid to love? How can we help them? I think it's giving our brushes ourselves. We don't do that. We don't ask ourselves these questions. And it's like, what are you afraid of? That's pretty simple, but like, that started there. I see, like, look for those beach or name. Well, what is it about being judged that you're afraid of? Well, I feel like they will think I'm not successful, man, attractive, fit enough. Okay, so what's, and so I think if we ask, there's one question, just keep going deeper into the question. It's not like, here are 70 questions to make. I think it was just a few that, what are you afraid of? Like, actually, what are you afraid of? Cora, I like that. And you're sitting there alone, and honestly, most of my life, I'm going to be alone. Mm-hmm. Right? Okay, well, go read the 10 language hard. Yeah. I'm afraid I will be this alone for the next 20 years. And most of us also then don't know how to love ourselves. Yeah. So that if we're not knowing how to go fight a love or receive the love, or even give love, how are we going to receive and give it to ourselves? So yes,
It's multi-layered, and it always starts with self. Yeah, we gotta love ourselves. We gotta choose ourselves. And I think there's also some, all our social media narcissism us one now and conceited and arrogant. And I'm like, no, there's a big difference. Like getting up and choosing yourself. Say, you know what, today, Ruben, I love you, so I'm gonna go work out. I love you, so I'm gonna eat my meal right now. I love you, so I'm going to read this. I love you, so I'm gonna, it's not, oh, you look so good, I want to go. They shit the mirror. Yeah, there's a huge difference because then that's not bad either. Let's talk about that. Validity that's hiding all the other crap inside. I like this idea of giving them their questions and asking, like, what are you really afraid of? Well, what's underneath that? And why are you afraid of that? I like that. Here's one direction I go with them. I coach them is, well, what are you more afraid of? Right? You hit the nail. Well, I'm afraid I'm going to be alone. Well, bro, where you are alone. Right? You were right. Congratulations, your worst fear has come true. What are you more afraid of than in this moment? Because you're already living it, so you're afraid of something else more. Right? Anticipation, pain can be just close the pain you feel right now. And I asked them this, when they come in, they've had a child, their marriage is not great, and they're just kind of showing up, and their life is just unfolded, they're not doing the things to do. And they say, I don't know how to get motivated. So I said, well, what are you terrified of happening? Well, I don't know, I really think about that. Well, you should. You definitely should. What are you afraid of? Well, okay, are you afraid of the daughter? Oh, man, okay, how old is she? Well, she's like 4 years old. Okay, did you play with her? And, sometimes it's fine. Okay, none. Hey, let me ask you this. How do you feel when she becomes a prostitute? What? Like, okay, hey, man. Have you ever OnlyFans? Like, they all have attention there and some money. Are you going to feel when she shows all that black eye and her boyfriend is beat her up? And she says, no, Dad, don't yell at him. I deserve. How do you feel? Like, well, yeah, suck. Okay, well, how much is it going to suck? Does it suck as much as, like, you going and sitting with her, having a conversation with her today? Like, 12, 14 hours a day sometimes, man. Like, my daughter's coming, like, the person, I'm like, shit, you out of me all the day. I'm like, yes, you are. All right, come here, call me my unicorn. Like, let's hang out. Let's spend this time together. Right? They bust in the room and they, like, throw water at me. And I'm like, it's not me, it's my phone. And I'm like, I can yell and scream at my child and show them out off the door, get back to work. Or I just stop. And I get saying, hey, you send me the water. I get it. Like, it's frustrating. Why? Why? What's wrong with you today? Are you having fun, mad, or do you just seem tension? And they'll look. And they go blank. And like, Lula's trimming. They're like, hey, ask. Like, I just want attention. I'm like, just ask. They look, hey, got attention? Yeah. They throw it up in the air and you play with it. I broke them up, broke their hair up, and then say, okay, put them down. And it's like, I take off running at the zoomies immediately, and they take off, that's all they wanted. You can do that. You can give them that. Or they can bring home an abusive boyfriend. They have 5 kids, just buy them different deals. They can be straddling drugs. Suicide. Like, hey, bro, like, pick your terror. 20 years from now, how would you like to wish that you were dead? My shit. What are you more afraid of than you're afraid of, right? What makes you more afraid than the thought of going out and doing the thing that's just staring you right down? Be more afraid of that. Think about it. I think about that whenever I'm thinking like, oh man, I don't know how I'm gonna get through the day. I don't know how I'm gonna spend time with kids. Like, and my wife's like, we gotta show the kids today. I know you're planning to go show up, but I'm like, all right, worst case scenario, negative visualizations. What do I want to avoid? Yeah, okay, here's the energy. I go. Worst case scenario. Men don't harness that pain. Back to the skip. Men don't harness the pain. Harness the pain. And then when the teacher. And that's where it comes back to, because I see it flower here. But I'm always very cognizant, very adamant about saying, fear is not bad. No, here's your wife. You just don't want to live in that as the, they say you see her as your compass. Well, if I'm trying to survive with bear gorillas in the forest, hell yeah, this thing's gonna eat. Yeah, if I don't do this, I'm gonna freeze to death. That's where fear's appropriate. Or like a bear's attacking, they figured us. But your guiding light should be coming from love, because also coming from love can help protect you with all that as well. Fear safety bags, some core has to be with adrenaline. No, but where right now the question that you said, you asked your daughter, because I know how, we're in this. Yeah, and he's too asked. We're not that level yet, but he's still like, getting this, that, or he'll kick me in the face. Our reaction is, place. But I've been really good. Yeah, there's really nothing he can do that likes yelling that in a bad way, like people can. It's like general put on the dad. So I'm trying to see that energy applying the rest of my life. But if you can't ask yourself the question, how can you ask your kid the question? Man. Oh, yes. You have to do the work on you first. So it goes back to, we joke and they say, well, I don't want to breed them back. I was like, we're going to mess up. Then you'll come with instructions, right? They still be on what we now strap the carrier, make sure we put the car seat in. They're like, you're like, yeah. Can you talk about the, yeah, like, I would tired. And it was the same thing. I was like, so which one of you is covering all of us? And they all laughed. And we do that every time. So I could have walked faster than house lawyer. Yeah. Why in your car? I read a lot on my car. I almost a beautiful car. I love this car. And I get down there with the kid and I look at her and I look at my wife and I said, this is so car happening. And it's not even just as everyone else. You're tired of business. But I think if we take that energy, apply it to ourselves, and then follow it. Yeah. I had to learn to love myself. You can't teach them. No, you show stuff. My son will learn as he sees how I'm choosing to love myself. I shouldn't tell him. You could tell people how I treat one, but he's going to see how I love his mother, and that's how he's going to show up. And if I have a daughter one day, vice versa, and the same thing, this is how a man she treated me. Yes. But we forget. So let's treat ourselves that way first. Let's treat ourselves as the children that we're trying to raise us. And then we can actually show up that way. Yes. As do as I say, not as I do. Unless that ever works for you. No, yeah, me either. You do what people do. Yeah, because you don't see the early skills. Your dad's drinking beer. Hey, what's this? Hey, you don't ever drink beer, kid. You're like, someone drink beer. That's the first thing you do. That you see and you mirror and you do, because that's what was small. Same thing here. So if you're out there helping 3 people, some dudes out there are yeah, well, I'm 3 people. Okay, we've been sell that mission and you go out 3 people. How you help them? Right off. If you're sitting there right now and you look right at a room and there's beer bottles everywhere, or your underwear and you don't work and you have money and you're pressed and how you help 3 people? Help you. If you help us, somebody down. So this idea to send us. Send anybody. We reach out to us without all these contact, big. Hey man, I need to learn something. I need to learn this skill. Okay, buy it all. I'll point it at every person right here. Learn. Self-love, self-care. Take care of you. Connect to a bigger network. Continue improving, and then start helping other people. It's just a process. I wasn't one father. I'm one down. I'm sure I'm one down. It took me time to build. I had to become a butler. I had to that continuously learning. My kids are teaching me how to be a butler because I listened to the lessons. I asked them, "Hey, how you doing?" I asked my sons, "Hey, buddy, how you want to do? How are we doing from your side? We're doing all right. Anything that I'm not doing that you need from me? All right. Hey, here's some things I could use your help on. Have a little piece in the household. Some beans there. Cool. All right. Good luck. Also see that you get their feedback and see if for life. I'm a better husband. Say that. How's our marriage been from your side? How we doing on yours? Okay. If I'm and you need to take care of anything that you're stop feeling, no, I'll do that. Okay, I'll do that. I'm gonna help you there. Cool. Let's sort. Bar. You know what I mean? Do you do that, your wife? I don't. That is we do say we do that when this happened. Probably like that. Not do well. I coach couples. I call State of the Unions. Professor State of the Union. How's our union? You get together up she ran business.
You don't just have meetings with our disaster. Yeah, we need to small. If things are rough, give them once a week. If they're really rough, give them once a day. Like, cross them out again, right? Most couples are like, oh, I don't want to ask my wife how her marriage is. She'll hate all this. No, world. Like,
So it's zeros. That's not what came to mind. But what comes to mind sometimes, it's because we tend to ask things come from a place and we triggers.
ooh,
So it's like if I ask the question, do we? And then we'll go here and we'll start. Or it was saying we'll go over here. But I want to know, it's like, do we set guidelines and parameters to this convenience? It being here the rules. Like, I'm going to ask you, am I showing up believing? Where am I again? Where am I stealing right?
yeah,
But this isn't over. We not allowed these to retire relations. These are things that we're general. We don't want to ask for feedback because we're afraid of what's in our life. But is it here? So we actually train each other and put some parameters. Hey, you look, I'm asking where do you need me to shop, but let's do it about the things that explained it. Where? What's actually mine? Because there can be other things that like, like question. Or is, let's just say she asked me, I've been like told that she asked. I'm not just like, we're good. 100% illegal. You surely have some kind of constraint. Yes.
yeah. So I was a licensed very feminine therapist for many years before retired, and now I do coaching, and I totally coach couples too, men, women, and couples. And here's what I tell them. Here's a parameter, because I say, hey, you're gonna check it with each other, and they go, I can see like every inch of their body puckers all at once. Here's what I tell them. Here's the rules. Very simple rules. Yes, to all right, 1 to 10. 1 to 10. With 1 being getting divorced right now, at 10 being we are so blissfully happy with dying in your arms right now. You know, what's 10? How are you feeling in our relationship? How are you feeling in the relationship about? How are you feeling in the relationship want? That's the first question. The only follow-up question you're allowed to ask is not, why? What did you do wrong? How did we go as happened? The only follow-up question is, how can we help you? How can we help you as a team go at 1? That's it.
From responsibility.
Yeah. 1 to 10. And how can we help you go at 1 point? Here's what happens is you ask your wife, hey, where are you at 1 to 10? She says, well, and women will always upgrade because there are others they don't want to tell you the number, but they'll always upgrade. Well, like let's say it's almost strong 5. Well, how can we as a team, we language help? How can we as a team help people at 1 point? She's not going to tell you rule 1. Then tell you the most important. But now you've already set it up that I'm on your side. I care about you. I want you to feel better. How can we help you? So she'll say, well, you know, I can use more time, but people live all leave work all this time, or, you know, I'm getting overwhelmed. Just the house is so bad. I feel like I'm failing. Is, you know, tell you something like, 5 point. Then you say, okay, number 1, by asking you work help to go at 1 point. Just number 2, you work with 20. Okay, we'll do that. I'm take care. I'll handle it. Right? Chase, while I was on this podcast not too long ago, he said, I'll handle it. Or I handled it. Well, we would love to hear that. Shout out to Chase and Austin. I will handle that. We will do that together. Come on, Philly. She'll understand. Is I ever got help if you don't do it. She'll about 18 points there. You do it. And she goes up 3rd point. So asking her how to go 1 point. That's a safe conversation. This pollution gives you insight. Nature 3 points. That's the safe way. 1 to 10. How do we help you go on with this? 2. 1 to 10. And how did we help you go up 1 point? Not why are you at that point? How can we stop before we get? How do we help you go up? Solution focused, easy, clear. That's not being 5. Right. Yeah, also it's exact numbers and exact solutions. Which thing could do you liking? Very specific to the relationship. Specific. Very specific. 10 of that out. Do it once a week. They are all do it once a week. If they're great, do it once a month. Use the day for the sake. We're going to go a lot of excuse out there. We're going to have dinner. We're going to have a meeting. We'll have this little discussion. Takes you fucking nervous. Whatever Saturday night. Super easy. And then you never can wonder. Show you me. Is she upset? Is she happy? Is she miserable? You know, older. Wants to be paranoid. Shot for about you. Never. What do you think? Was white eat you alive? She had venoms. She be like, "It's down green." You think she got with
So, but I decided, like, it was
like, well, how are we going to do a point? This house, right? Like, that's about that's where it's like, God, yeah, these are 1 point. If the pressure's too much to go 10, how are we going to 10? It's normal, bro.
And it was perfection. Perfection's on him.
Exactly.
And we're all imperfect. Let's live our imperfection because we're perfect.
Correct. Go 1 point. How can we only go 1 point? I need you to give me more hugs. Great. Sharing needs.
And you say,
I'll ping you a hug. There you go. Is that doable though? Do you think that's doable? Do you think the guys at home could do that? You think that'll be less scary for them? That, hey, man, you're going to leave me?
bullies, you're right. It was funny that the question we want to ask. It was straight on. But no, I think it's totally doable. I think it's creating the habit.
Yes.
Let's create the habit. Let's do a check-in. And just start doing. There's a lot of things. Because life's overwhelming. We're going to get busy. Kids going to do key things. You know, but there's, like, we just started not negotiating. I don't want to this. Unless there's like a massive flood. Yeah, don't work all weekend. But we set that up while she was pregnant. And she Adam, like, yo, we look at so much time with her kid. You know, and I, as a man, and I'm like, yeah, I need to build a business out and doing and the thing. And like, she's building her thing. And like, well, you know, like, we're both self-employed, we're figuring this whole thing out. With like, yeah, I share cerebral over a kid. Nah, sometimes, yeah, I need an extra 30 minutes. Ask for it what it needed. That's like, okay, just don't, just take it. That, but it's just a habit. It's just another.
You know what's so funny is, and this language we use, create a habit, make it a habit. Well, you already have habits. Replace your habit. You know that. Hey, your habit is right now. Some do habit. His habit is to not talk to his wife about the relationship because he's afraid of this to screw up. No, make it your habit to check and replace. Your habit right now is to sit alone every single night in your apartment and wish with friends. Change that habit. It only takes 2 to 3 weeks for you bring the fully recovery. Written 2 or 3 weeks. Do it because that's all for 2 or 3 weeks. Replace the habits you have that are making you richly miserable. You get the body that you use and you get the laugh that you use. They'll live like with intention. They'll just let me go for you.
Yeah. I agree. We got so solid caught that. And if it was the other, why did you so there's the automation?
That's right.
Ask yourself the question. Yes. You know, in relationships, if you're married, especially ask your wife, your partner, how are we doing? How are we showing well? But I think it also ask to our friends. Yes. And then if we have children like this, ask those questions too. That's not they call he's smashing out for whatever. That is if he could have son. But hey, what do you read right? Well, I just wanted you to look at now. Oh, here you go. Thank you. Brady, that's it. Because Brady's Daddy does. Daddy knows like, yeah, buddy, what is it? What is it? Daddy. And so then he stops. That was it. We just have to look at, even though we're talking, exchanging, acknowledging, it's just all down there with them. I wasn't doing something else. Just like, I go, yeah, that's cheap, but we're not making that cut. Go. No. Yeah. Phone. Call contact. So, by the worst about, there's no right or wrong way. So, yeah. Keep listening to Jeff. So you're now, I'll judge myself later. No, yeah, go ahead. Hit me with it. How do you define living a life to love?
It is being honest with yourself in each situation about what your fear is driving you to do, and then choosing to ask what is best for each person, including yourself, and do it. And that's the habit you build, and you do every single day. You walk in a room, you say, what does my fear make me want to do? It makes me want to impress everybody. Okay, well, actually be best for everybody. Well, let's be honest. Oh, okay. Do it that simple. Loving is so simple, and it's so hard, and it gets easier to make it happen. That's true love. You already been lost.
Thank you so much for being you, for telling you, for sharing your wealth of knowledge and charisma and everything.
Thank you for having me here. It's just fun. You're going to make a friend.
You friends, we're all still out with $1,000. Keep that.
So there you go.
You're a big fan of what I am.
I am. So there's dairy farm. There's a place to, there's a lot. There's everything around us.
You can.
You can. People around, let's slice the ranch and get the food right from them right there on the spot. And you guys with.
See, those are the things that make me want to do that, but LA through and through. So I don't miss it. There you go.
We'll visit, we'll hunt some food together, we'll eat it.
And where can everybody find you?
So my website is adamlanesmith.com. I'm also on YouTube as at Adam Lane Smith. I've got 400 videos on there on how to build loving relationships, how to bust out of male depression, how to build better relationships with friends or mate friends. I'm also on Instagram with people prefer that content. I'm at Attachment Adam over there. I'm basically on every single platform. You can find me everywhere. If you need my help, reach out.
That is, I'm going to make it all make it easy for everyone. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Live Through Love. If you love this episode, you'll love this episode.